When evil has no limit, it manifests in ways that defy human understanding. And this murder was the chilling proof. What began as a routine investigation soon spiraled into one of the most horrifying cases the police had ever encountered. The brutality of the crime scene left even the most seasoned detectives speechless, forcing them to question what kind of darkness could drive a person to commit such an unspeakable act. This wasn't just another case. It was a haunting reminder that true evil knows no boundaries, no mercy, and no reason. A quiet night that turned into horror. It was supposed to be just another peaceful night where the world outside seemed calm and ordinary. But beneath that silence, something sinister was already unfolding. A presence lurking in the dark, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Within hours, that quiet night turned into a scene of unimaginable horror, marking the beginning of a crime that would haunt everyone who dared to remember it, the chilling discovery at dawn. As the first rays of dawn touched the ground, they revealed a sight that froze everyone in their tracks. What should have been a calm morning became a nightmare, as authorities stumbled upon a gruesome scene no one could have imagined. The chilling discovery sent shockwaves through the entire community, marking the start of a mystery darker than anyone could comprehend. A crime scene beyond imagination. When investigators stepped inside, they were met with a scene so brutal it defied all logic and reason. Every corner told a story of chaos, pain, and unimaginable cruelty that no one was prepared to witness. It was a crime scene beyond imagination, one that even the most hardened detectives would never forget. Detectives faced the unthinkable. As detectives examined the evidence, the reality of what had happened began to sink in, leaving them shaken to their core. Each clue uncovered painted a picture more disturbing than the last, testing their courage and composure. They had faced countless crimes before, but nothing could prepare them for the unthinkable horror that unfolded in this case. Tracing the killer's sinister trail. Determined to uncover the truth, detectives began piecing together the killer's every move, following a trail marked by cunning and cruelty. Each new lead revealed the twisted mind behind the crime, someone who seemed to take pleasure in staying one step ahead. The deeper they dug, the darker the path became, leading them into the heart of true evil. The shocking clues hidden in plain sight. Just when the investigation seemed to hit a dead end, detectives uncovered clues that had been hiding in plain sight all along. Small, overlooked details suddenly connected the entire puzzle, exposing the killer's chilling precision. It was a shocking revelation that turned the entire case upside down and brought investigators closer to the truth than ever before. A web of lies and deception unfolds. As the investigation deepened, a tangled web of lies and deception began to unravel, revealing shocking truths about those closest to the victim. Every testimony seemed to hide a darker secret. Every alibi a carefully crafted disguise. What appeared to be a single act of violence soon exposed a network of betrayal that ran far deeper than anyone expected. The moment truth came to light. After days of relentless investigation, the moment of truth finally came to light, exposing the face behind the monstrous act. The evidence aligned perfectly, leaving no room for doubt and shattering the false narratives that once clouded the case. It was a moment of both triumph and heartbreak, as justice neared, but the horror of the truth left everyone speechless. The arrest that left everyone speechless. When the police finally made the arrest, shock rippled through the entire community, leaving everyone speechless. The person responsible for the unimaginable crime was someone no one had suspected, hidden in plain sight all along. It was a moment of stunned silence, where disbelief and relief collided, marking a pivotal turning point in the case. Whispers from the shadows. In the stillness of the night, whispers began to crawl through the alleys where the murder took place. Faint at first, like the wind brushing against broken glass. The officers who guarded the scene swore they heard voices calling their names from corners, swallowed by darkness. Each whisper carried the chill of a warning, a secret that refused to stay buried. The shadows seemed alive, shifting with intent, echoing words that no human tongue should know. And by dawn, even the bravest among them began to fear that the killer had never left. only change form, waiting, whispering, watching. The fear that spread through the force. At first, the officers dismissed it as stress, just another brutal case in a long line of horrors. But as days passed, fear began to creep through the precinct like a silent infection. Seasoned detectives refused to work nights, and whispers of curses replaced talk of evidence. Radios crackled with strange static, and files went missing as if the case itself was erasing its own truth. A city held hostage by terror. The city, once alive with laughter and light, fell into uneasy silence. Its streets emptied before sunset as if night itself had become an enemy. Doors were double locked, windows boarded, and every sound in the dark felt like a warning. Rumors spread faster than the truth of shadows that moved on their own and screams that no one dared investigate. Police sirens became the city's new lullaby, echoing through the case files that vanished overnight. By morning, the evidence room was empty. Every photo, every report, every scrap of proof simply gone, as if the case had been erased from existence. Security footage showed nothing but static, a gray blur that pulsed like a heartbeat in the dark. Officers who had handled the files couldn't remember when they'd last seen them. Their memories fogged and fractured. Panic rippled through the department. It felt as though the truth itself had been stolen. Eyes in the dark. Who was watching? Whom? As the investigation deepened, the detectives began to feel the weight of unseen eyes following their every move. Street cameras glitched whenever they passed, and reflections in windows seemed to stare back with unfamiliar faces. Late-night stakeouts turned into tests of nerve, every shadow a possible witness or predator. They realized they were no longer the hunters, but the hunted, tracked by something patient and intelligent. And in those sleepless hours, one truth chilled them to the bone. The darkness wasn't just around them, it was looking through them. The detective's descent into madness. The lead detective stopped sleeping, haunted by visions of the victim's eyes staring through every mirror he passed. His notes became unreadable, scrawled with symbols he couldn't remember writing. Colleagues whispered that he spoke to someone who wasn't there, answering questions only he could hear. The deeper he dug, the more the case consumed him, blurring the line between truth and nightmare. When science failed and superstition took over, forensics offered no answers. Blood that didn't match any known type. Fingerprints that shifted patterns under the microscope. The lab's machines flickered and shut down whenever the evidence was tested, as if rejecting the truth itself desperate. Officers turned to symbols, prayers, and charms, clinging to anything that might ward off what logic could not explain. The rational gave way to ritual. Science bowed before something older and darker. The secret the police tried to bury. Hidden deep in the archives, a file marked "classified" revealed details too horrific for public eyes. Officers who read it swore never to speak of it again, their silence enforced by fear, shame, or something far worse. The murder was only the beginning. What lay beneath suggested a pattern, a darkness entwined with the city itself. Rumors of cover-ups spread quietly, feeding the dread that had already taken root. The return of the darkness. Months passed, but the murders didn't stop. Whispers of the same darkness returned, echoing through abandoned streets and empty homes. New victims appeared with the same impossible wounds, the same chilling symbols carved into their surroundings. The city's bravest learned the hard truth. Evil doesn't end. It waits, biding its time, learning, adapting. Even the strongest wards and locks could not hold it back, and every day brought fresh fear. Justice served, but scars remain forever. With the killer behind bars, justice was finally served, bringing a sense of closure to a case that had gripped the community in fear. Yet the scars left by the tragedy ran far deeper than the courtroom could heal, lingering in the hearts of those affected. The horror of that night would never be forgotten, a haunting reminder that some evils leave marks that time cannot erase. The horrifying events of this case serve as a chilling reminder that when evil knows no limits, it can shatter lives and communities in ways that seem unimaginable. While justice was ultimately served, the memories of the terror, deception, and heartbreak will linger forever. For the detectives, the victims' loved ones, and everyone who followed the case, the nightmare may have ended, but the scars remain. A stark testament to the darkness that sometimes hides behind the most ordinary of facades.